now. I am Perfecto Tiro Marate, your grade 10 English broadcaster from Santa Ana National High School. Let's start the day for you to learn new things. Our lesson for today is very important because it's about plot, setting, characterization in a story. In this session, you will learn how to appraise the unity of plot, setting, and characterization in a material viewed to achieve the writer's purpose. You will also be analyzing pictures from movies and short films to achieve the above-mentioned skill. Evaluating the plot, setting, and characterization play together to get the theme or message of the author. This skill is very important because it will help you understand the purpose of the movie or film. Are you ready? If you're ready, get your module in grade 10 quarter 1, module 3, and let's start the fun and learning now. Have you tried to write your own stories and shared it with others? That's great! It's good that you have tried to create your own stories and inspired others to do the same. In our lives, we hear and create stories. When we are at home, we enjoy watching movies or films. Without paying much attention, a story has 7 elements, such as plot, setting, and characters. Being able to interpret and evaluate these elements is very important in understanding the story. This time, we will watch a short film entitled Piper. While watching, take note of the following questions. Number 1, when and where did the story take place? Number 2, who are involved in the story? Number 3, what is the film all about? Are you ready to watch the film? You may now start. How was your viewing? Did you like the short film? Were you able to take note of the things that were mentioned above? Now, let's try if you can answer the following questions. Directions. Read the questions carefully and write your answer on the space provided on your module. Number 1, who are involved in the story? Number 2, where did the story take place? Number 3, what is the movie all about? Number 4, what is the author's purpose? Number 5, how did the setting, characterization, and the plot help achieve the author's purpose? Were you able to answer the questions correctly? Good job! The questions that you have just answered talked about the setting, character, and the plot. These are the basic elements of a story. When we talk about when and where the story is set, it's called the setting. Let's say it together, setting. One more time, setting. Setting deals with both the physical location and also the time. Example, past, present, and future, and the social and cultural conditions in which the characters exist. The setting of a story can help define and shape the character for the reader. Where did the story take place? You're correct! In the short film Piper, the movie is set at the seashore, giving us the idea that the character's struggle would involve water. Again, setting deals with both the physical location and time. Example, past, present, and future, and the social and cultural conditions in which the characters exist. Let's find out the next basic elements of a story. What do you call a person or animal or anything that is personified in a story? That's right! It's called character in the story. There can be more than one character or many, and often there are secondary characters, but not always. Characterization is also used by the writers to highlight and explain the details about the character in a story. Oftentimes, it talks about how the character behaves. Describe the main character in the film of Piper. In the film Piper, the main character was described as someone who is afraid of the water, but eventually overcomes this fear. Now, let's proceed to the basic element of a story, the last part, which is plot. The series of events that happen in a story is called plot. It includes an introduction, a rising action, a climax, the falling action, and the resolution. Plot is often represented as an arc. In a narrative or creative writing, a plot is the sequence of events that make up a story, whether it's told, written, filmed, or sung. The plot is the story, and more specifically, how the story develops, unfolds, and moves in time. Plots are typically made up of 5 main elements. Number 1, exposition. At the beginning of the story, the characters, the setting, and the main conflict are typically introduced. Number 2, rising action. The main characters is in crisis, and events leading up to facing the conflict begin to unfold. The story becomes complicated. Climax. At the peak of a story, a major event occurs in which the main character faces many enemies, fear, challenge, or other source of conflict. The most action, drama, change, and excitement occurs here. Number 4, falling action. The story begins to slow down and work towards its end, tying up loose ends. And number 5, resolution. Also known as denouement, the resolution is like a concluding paragraph that resolves any remaining issues and ends the story. Plot also known as storyline, includes the most significant events of the story and how the characters and their problems change over time. The diagram above displays the plot of the short film Piper. As you can see, the story started with the exposition where the sandpiper was introduced as the main character. The setting was also revealed and the conflict was presented. Then is followed by the rising action where the baby piper was motivated by the mother to face his fear. The story now becomes complicated. Climax comes next, where the highlight of the story occurs. After that, the story begins to slow down towards its end. This is the falling action. Finally, the resolution of the story comes in, where we can find the concluding part, which also includes how the character and his problems change eventually. The plot in this story also presents how it shaped the character. In the beginning, the sandpiper was afraid of the waves, but through time, the character was able to face his fears, leading to a change in his situation in the end. If you have observed, the setting, characterization, and plot work together to achieve the purpose of the writer to entertain the reader. They also help in achieving the theme of the story by showing the reader how the sandpiper conquered its fears. Let us review what we have discussed earlier. Are you ready? What are the three basic elements of a story? Correct! Setting, character, plot. What are the five main elements of a plot? Check! Absolutely correct! Very good, students! We have exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. Below are pictures captured from the short film In Sickness, an award-winning animated short film directed by Ian van Heerden, Benito Koch, Johan Combrix, Chris Elof, Peter Bagberg from South Africa 2011. This time, we will watch a short film In Sickness. Then answer the questions that follow. Write the letter of the best answer in your module. Number 1. Why is the man's bed situated in this location? Letter A, the man lost his house. Letter B, the man is just dreaming. Letter C, the man is camping outside. Letter D, the man likes to spend outside. Let's go to question number 2. How do you think does the man feel? Letter A, sad, happy, terrified, confused. Let's go to question number 3. Based on the picture, what is the mood of the story? Is it sad, happy, euphoric, lethargic. Number 4, in the picture above, what does the black shadow represent? A, is it God? Is it our life? Letter C, our friends. And letter D, sickness. Number 5, what can we interpret of the setting as shown in the picture above? It tells of a happily ever after kind of ending. Letter B, it tells us that the black shadow is patiently waiting for the man. Letter C, it tells us that it's already morning when the man and the woman saw each other. And letter D, it tells us that there is acceptance with the man's situation because of the bright color in the background. This time, let's apply what you have learned in sequencing of events by using the plot diagram. This is our activity 4. The title is Plot Me Out. So this is our directions. Based on the short film that you have watched in activity 3, illustrate the setting. Use the space provided in your module. Describe the main character in the story. What are his traits? What are his attitude? And then you write 3 to 5 sentences on the space provided below. 4.3, check your module. So that is using the diagram, plot the story of the film that you have watched. So you have exposition, you have the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and of course, the end resolution. Okay, I hope students, you have learned something from our session today. See you again in our next lesson. I am Perfecto T. Romarate, your grade 10 English teacher, broadcaster from San